Welcome to episode 4 of the Backmarkers podcast. My name is Jason. There's Ryan, YT, and Logan is drinking currently. And yes, I swear he's 21.
Yep.
This week we will run down the action at Homestead Miami Speedway, as well as our picks for next week and a bunch of pointless ranting and raving in between.
Yes, sir.
No one cares about William Byron winning, so that's topics.
Hey now.
What do we got this week, boys? Ryan, I guess we'll go to you because you've got a lot to say about this race.
Yeah.
I do. I just
We'll
wanted
get
to say,
that out of the way.
we can just get it out of the way for you guys because William Byron won on a non-restrictor plate track. You guys didn't think he was going to have a single win this year.
Ring number
And
2, baby.
My guy came through. His pit crew sucked for him the entire race. But in the end, he actually had some good restarts, made up some positions, and go to like 18th place. And he just pretty much dominated that whole last stage. Nobody could really stay with him until Tyler Reddick at the very end.
I mean, it was all Rudy Fugel's effort, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely.
We give William Byron zero credit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was the thing though. Like, I feel like the tail part of like last year, like the second half of last year, they really like turned it up. It felt like they started. I don't think they had like 2 top 10s like halfway through the year, and then they ended up with, I think he ended up with 14 top 10s last year. So like they had good momentum. Obviously, like the switch, like Rudy Fugel was always his guy for whatever reason. Thankfully they were able to get him away from them, those little KBM boys, and now, I mean, shit, if they're gonna run like this at like all these mile-and-a-half tracks, I mean, they could, I mean, you guys might laugh at this, but if they're gonna run like this and like have these good of cars like at these types of tracks, I mean,
everybody sit down, here it comes.
I mean, I'm just saying, Championship 4 isn't insane.
All right,
Yeah,
we're getting
no.
Ryan committed to an insane
mean,
asylum.
Well,
I don't-
look at
I
it
don't
this way, like the last, like, so if he's gonna run like this good, and like Rudy Fugel was always so good at like those mile-and-a-half tracks, like in the Truck Series.
But
Yeah,
that
and Coach
means
Pratt
that
is gonna get
in that
top 10.
vein, I think that means we can just crown Michael McDowell the champion of the season because
mean,
he's
no, but,
definitely been
like-
better overall than William Byron has been.
Oh, I mean, there was
By 100%.
extenuating circumstances to that. I mean,
The
I
day
don't know.
Cody Ware finishes in the top 10 is the day William Byron wins the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Shit.
don't think he's going to the Final Four. Honestly, with how he did though Sunday night, I do think that he could.
Might make it
Take a
to the
deep
round of
off.
12.
No, I
Dude.
think he can go into the round of 8.
I
Just with the
hope.
way he drove like that race. I mean, Homestead's a good track, like a driver's track too, in my opinion. You have to
Yeah,
have some skill to
exactly.
run there, which is insane that I'm saying that.
It's
'cause
not
William
like
Byron
he was
won.
running the wall like Reddick was. I mean, he just had a good car and he got a lead. Reddick would have ran him down in like 2 more laps.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing though. It's like that was the thing about that kind of annoyed me about the booth this week was like they like emphasized like the wall so much and like running right up against the wall like before the cup race. Like, yeah, we always knew that was gonna work in the Xfinity cars because of the lower like downforce and shit. But with like all the downforce in these cars, like we saw the race last year
and low
and even
horsepower. That's
before the
real
yeah,
killer.
and lower horsepower.
That is
like
the real killer. Like
Right.
even in 2014, like they had good racing there
Mhm.
at Homestead. You could run the wall because of high horsepower, even though they had a lot of downforce.
And
But
they
it's
couldn't
just-
they couldn't do it at all with the sun out this time
Exactly.
around. It just goes to first. They should that race should be later in the evening anyway.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
most races.
I mean, it was. I mean, we'll get to our race ratings later for the cup race.
I mean,
but-
it started early in the afternoon.
Why don't you give us your race rating right now, Mr. Ryan Byron?
Want to just go straight into it?
Yeah,
Let's
just
do it. I'm
just
down.
give it to us. We want it, baby.
Well-
I
give
think
it
the
to us.
Xfinity race is better, honestly.
Please give it to me.
I was thinking about this, and like so, like last week, I think I gave the Daytona Road Course an 8.3. So think about that. I would rate this one a 7.9. I thought it
Really?
was, yeah. I thought it was pretty good throughout. You had lots of guys that comers and goers through the field. You had guys that I mean, look at like the Chris Buescher, yeah, that first stage, like Chris Buescher drove, like Ryan Newman ran good. Obviously Michael McDowell, like some of these weird Roush affiliate cars like ran really well, and then you had like other guys, struggle throughout most of the race, like Tyler Reddick, for example, like he was a 22nd place car most of the race, and then that last stage, like they finally figured it out and they started, they came towards the front. So I thought it just had a lot of interesting action. Maybe people didn't like the fact that there was that long green flag run at the end and not that exciting a finish. But I mean, for most of the race, like I thought there was a lot of good racing going on.
Logan, what about you?
I'm gonna have to give it 7.5. I mean, it did have a lot of good racing for this cup package, which you don't see a lot of this side by side stuff anymore.
Right.
And yeah, I think it's a 7.5. I mean, the battle for second place there at the last few laps was just insane. I mean, I don't know how they didn't wreck each other there.
Yeah, and to like talk about what we touched on earlier with like the more downforce and the lower horsepower, like it felt like the past couple of races there with the cup cars, like I felt like the bottom lane was like more of an option for like longer versus like the Xfinity race, for the example. Like the bottom lane was like done after like 2-3 laps there, it felt like. Whereas in like the cup race, because they had all that downforce, they could still like use the bottom throughout like most of the run. They just couldn't get up towards the wall, which is like what we saw with the Xfinity cars. So,
Young Tyler.
I'm gonna give this race an 8.5.
ooh,
I love Homestead. Like I could watch it battle for like 13th all day. I love watching the racing there. I love people running the wall, and we'll get into this later. But like Tyler Reddick, that was so fun to watch. The battle for second, like Logan said, so fun to watch. And yeah, like I gave it a good review, and William Byron won, and everyone hates William Byron. But still, like it's nice to see a newer face winning instead of like a Martin Truex or
oh god.
What he meant to say was it feels like we've had 3 first-time winners this season.
Exactly.
I mean, if Martin
Someone who doesn't
Truex
have very much
won,
experience winning in Cup.
I mean, dude, William Byron has a ring, a literal ring, to prove he won at Talladega. So let's give that little twig some credit.
Right first.
But yeah,
That was Daytona there.
I do love.
It doesn't matter. They're the same thing.
He should have won Dega though, but
Get out of here.
He should have never won anything.
Yeah, Austin Dillon should have won Darlington.
I honestly was just going to give the race a 7. I mean, it seems like we're all in the same ballpark. My Penske boys had a pretty weak showing. That was disappointing.
Y'all were looking good early, and then
I mean, Brad. I mean, they obviously didn't have long run cars, and Brad checked out for Chase and lost like 47 spots in stage 3. So that didn't help.
It seemed like every time they cut to Brad's car, he was sideways.
Yeah. And the one time he wasn't sideways, Chase was sideways in front of him.
Yeah.
Didn't really help all that much. Obviously, we touched on it. Pretty impressive showings by people like Michael McDowell again, showing that, hey, I'm a race car driver. I'm here. Like me. Disappointed with Ryan Newman because he was in the top 10. Very disappointing.
Where did he finish?
He finished 7th, yeah, which is very...
Top 10 for a route. It's just not bad. I mean, you could have been Chris Buescher.
What happened with
stage?
An Angel loses their wings
went off
every time Ryan Newman gets a top 10 is the scenario that I'm going to go with. So the Xfinity race, what do we think about that? I will go first since I went last time. I mean, that race was probably in the same ballpark as the Cup race for me. I'll probably give that a 7.5. It was sad, very sad to see what happened to Noah again. Noah really can't catch a break at Homestead, and that is a bummer because we are big Noah Gragson fans. David Starr
that guy can't
is a
catch a
dipshit.
break.
Yeah. What about you, YT? What's your hot take on this Xfinity race?
gonna go with the same thing as a Cup race, 8.5. I love Homestead and I love the low downforce package with the Xfinity. I'll give it an 8.6 actually, just because I did like it a little more than the Cup Series. Just because like I love
Okay.
the low downforce and all that, and like the actual talent they have to run with.
Little
Unlike
do the
that
people
high
know you
downforce.
live your life with low downforce.
Oh yeah, baby. We are low
The
downforce.
downforce.
Hey, I'm
Tyler's
high
got
on
a
power
6-inch spoiler on his back.
though. Oh, dude, it's in the front, bro, and it's like 2 inches.
Oh,
Oh, that is definitely a spoiler.
Hmm.
Logan, your
Oh, he's
take on
cutting
the
through the air
Xfinity race?
though.
Oh, dude, I got the horsepower.
Got the horses in
high
the
horsepower, low downforce.
back. Tyler's got them both.
Oh yeah, baby.
Logan,
Alright,
your hot
Logan.
take on the
You know-
Xfinity race?
I'm gonna have to rate it an 8.6 as well. I mean,
Coffee cat, shut the fuck up, bro. Get off this podcast.
I mean, it had this. It had cautions. I mean, who doesn't like cautions?
Oh shit.
Yo, I love yellow flag pit stops. That's
Yeah.
my favorite thing about
Yeah.
racing. I love when those pit reporters break down how many tires that motherfucker taking. And oh my god, he's
me, I
taking
love-
2 cans of
I love-
gas.
I love when Cody Ware was on fire and parked it underneath the building there. That sealed the deal for me.
Was that Cody Ware?
Or no?
Was it David?
It
what's his name,
was
Davidson.
Davidson. Yeah, I think it might
David,
be
Oh, yeah.
Davidson.
Dave-
Yeah, same
David
thing.
Jameson.
I mean,
I mean, yeah, they're
no,
the
that
same.
was in the fucking
That was
cup
the
race.
cup race.
Was
Yeah,
it?
either way.
I am all
Oh.
screwed up. I am all screwed
It's
up.
okay,
right
I
now.
make
we
mistakes.
don't know
too.
ripware cars one week to another.
You're
Yeah.
well
Alright,
known
we
for
got
having
no
soup
horsepower, though.
brain.
Yep. Yeah, I rated 8.6. It had plenty of wall riding. I mean, there was side by side action. I mean, the tire difference between
That was
the first
fun to
couple
watch.
stages when you had people on new tires, people on old tires. I mean, that was just insane. 2 seconds faster a lap. I mean,
3 to
At
5.
least, yeah.
yeah,
That,
at
yeah,
least.
that made it way more fun to watch. Honestly, that was like the best part.
Yeah.
And Hamrick actually clobbering the one dude.
Yeah, I would probably say 8.4 for the Xfinity race. I thought, you had the stages in the Xfinity race are like so short to where it like kind of makes it sort of weird. Like, I think before each of the end of them, they had like some sort of caution where they had like a short run and then guys had to make decisions on, are you gonna like save a set of tires for like the end of the race? And that is like also one of the other reasons why I do like the Xfinity series, because you have like that strategy of like you only have a certain amount of tires. Like you can't pit.
And
you can't just
they
pit
allowed
every
them to
caution.
have one more set as well this year.
Right. Just because it was so abrasive. But yeah, no, I thought there was a lot of good action, and that was the thing. Is like you actually saw like real like slide jobs. It felt like a couple times, like where because they're so much slower, like in the middle of the corners, like you saw like Gregson and like some other guys, like they just dive it straight down into turn one and slide all the way up there. And so they had a lot of cool moves like that. And then yeah, the wall was actually a lot more of like a factor than it was in the Cup Series. So had a lot of good action, and definitely, obviously, I think we all agree it's one of the better tracks on the schedule. It sucks that that's no longer where the champion is decided, but that's
I would settle for going to
NASCAR
that
for
track
ya.
twice a season at least. Like that would.
Oh yeah, I think everybody'd be down for that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably the best mile-and-a-half track or it's probably the best intermediate track on the circuit, to be honest.
Rip
So.
shit.
It should be in the
Chicago,
it should be in the playoffs. Honestly, probably.
Oh yeah, if it can't
would
be
be
the
awesome.
finale race, at least have it in the playoffs.
Replace
Like, it's
Texas
just
in the
back
playoffs.
Oh god, that
for
would be
sure.
amazing. Everybody would I think every driver would vote for that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Besides
thing.
Austin Dillon.
That's like another thing is like, somebody touched on like the tire wear, like it just feels like the tracks that like are more interesting, like have always been more interesting to watch, are the ones that have like a lot of fall off. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like like I can stay out and take two here and I got the track position and you can't get by me because there's only one lane and arrow
Bristol.
push and yeah.
But
so,
the thing is, though, it's gonna end up like Atlanta some year, and it's just gonna be super boring, just because like Atlanta's
It
getting
will.
really boring now. It's in its prime right now, Homestead, and
Right.
it was like Chicagoland too, which kind of sucks, just
Mhm.
because that race
Yeah,
won't last forever.
Chicagoland
Hopefully
was
when they do
awesome.
repave it though, hopefully when they do repave it though, it'll be okay. Like it won't be like Texas.
Yeah.
I
They
think
need
we
to
got plenty of-
reconfigure Atlanta. They need to reconfigure it to the
Put
old
it back to the regular oval.
layout. Yeah. Without the dog leg.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they could definitely do like I feel like they could model it more after Homestead because like I mean I'm not sure about this, but it feels like Homestead has like more progressive banking than like a lot of tracks do, or like a lot of like other mile
It's
and a half
more
tracks do.
banked than most mile and a halves.
Is
It's
it?
a
What
really
do we
steep
know
track.
what the degrees is? I feel like it's got to be like what, like 22 or
It's pretty steep. Like I don't think it's
maybe even
Atlanta
more than
steep,
that.
but it's pretty
I
dangerous.
think it's 98 degrees, baby.
Yeah, it's
Shout
basically
out.
an
It's
obtuse angle.
this much.
Yeah, it's about that much. Beep. And we had another first-time winner that no one cares about, Matt Snyder.
Oh God, dude! I feel like everybody,
Sauce
like, who
boy.
even remember that Myatt Snyder won that? Myatt
Yeah.
Snyder.
Myatt
Myatt Snyder.
Yeah,
He-
my
Oh, it's
Schneid.
it's my grandson, Myatt Snyder's. Oh, Myatt Snyder's.
Marty
That made me want
Snyder.
Snyder's pretzels. Honestly, I didn't even care about his sponsors. I was just like, oh, some Snyder's.
Dude, it says Homestead is 18 to 20 degrees.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks way steeper than
I know
that.
it seems
It
crazy
does.
considering Martinsville's 12 degrees.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? No. Okay, so Atlanta.
That's progressive. But I mean,
So-
I mean, Myatt Snyder in that car all season, I guess he could pull off another win. It's not like there are like 12 good cars in Xfinity, and maybe like 8 cars that can actually win a race. I think we can probably even take the 98 car off that list because Riley
God.
Herbst is hot garbage.
Yeah.
Even
I mean,
though he
Riley
finished
Herbst
11th.
had the car, and he had the car that Chase Briscoe won with last year.
Yeah,
I
well, he's
mean-
going to have a lot of those cars this year
I
and
mean,
still finish mid
I don't
pack.
think
I
he'll be
feel
able to
like
use it
Stewart.
after the race. It was also on fire as well.
How much do you also think like Stuart Haas has like decided to focus less on their Xfinity program because of who's in the car
yeah.
versus?
Pretty sure Tony Stewart doesn't know he still has an Xfinity program
Yeah.
right now. No one even mentions it to him. They're like, yeah, let's just keep this under wraps for this season, and we'll find
Yeah,
a new driver
Gene
next
Haas
year.
runs that one. He's
Literally,
like, hey, yo,
He's
get
gonna
Lamont
be out.
in there.
He's gonna be out in the first round of the playoffs, and he's never gonna be able to find a ride again. Although
Mhm.
Monster still keeps pumping in that money for some reason. Who knows? He'll be in like the 18
Uh-huh.
next year again. He'll be
He'll be
going back to
back.
the 18. Yeah, it's garbage. He's garbage. David Starr,
We're
there's a lot of
garbage.
debate
Everyone's
about
garbage.
a lot of debate about what happened with David Starr. Noah Gragson on Twitter decided to say that he didn't blow a tire and that he was just loose and he was a dipshit. Which, I mean, we definitely agree he was a dipshit. I think we can all agree on that.
It just.
I mean, if anything, he should have already been at the bottom of the track.
it just
He
like
shouldn't have
looked-
even been that high to begin with.
Yeah,
Noah
he gave
could have
him
also
half
gone
a
low
lane.
too. Yeah.
But I
I
mean, at that point,
but-
Noah was already doing basically less than 50% throttle that whole entire time, and he was
Yeah.
still pulling away from the second place dude.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Noah's
he was
not
just
known
riding.
for playing it safe,
It
but
was weird though, cause like as soon as like the 13 like hit the wall, like he just like kept rolling, like nothing was like even wrong. That was like the weird thing. It
Yeah.
was like, I mean, it was very abrupt, like how it happened, but
There was no sparks or anything from
Right,
that would indicate that a
something.
tire is down, that a side skirt or the splitter was dragging
yeah,
because the tire was down.
not to mention Noah had a pretty good vantage point, so I'm inclined to believe that
right.
a trash. I mean that's what happens when you get back markers like running too close to the sun. You know, he's
Mhm.
like, oh, my car's getting a spotlight. What a burger, baby. We're gonna finish 13th.
said that.
take out the leader.
Like,
And
He's like,
even-
let's get some
even-
real publicity.
Yeah, even
Was
if
he outrunning
he had
Riley
a tire, even if his tire was cording,
At that point, he probably he was pretty
he
close.
would have to know that it was cording, and that
Oh,
he
yeah.
should probably not keep pushing it as hard as he was.
or be
mean-
one lane away from the leader when he's coming. Like
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
spotter had to have said something to him, like, "Here comes the
How
leader."
long has David Starr been a driver? Anyone know this?
A long time. He's like 50,000
Exactly.
years old.
You know if you're courting a tire at that point. Motherfucker should have been inside pit road already.
Maybe he has like dementia or something.
He should have started in parks. They probably
Wait a minute, where am I?
they probably called him down pit road, and he's like,
Those are the
am I hearing voices? I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna
He's
keep
like,
driving.
I'm in the lead right now.
At that
Are we
point, he's
running
out
the
there
Roval?
on a Sunday drive, dude. He's like, oh, I'm going to get some fresh cider donuts.
Dude, he woke
No,
up
bro.
when
I turn right now.
dude, he woke up when Noah like hit him and he's like, oh shit, I just passed the 9 for the lead.
This car really
My
is driving
job.
itself,
It's my-
baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to mention this while we're recording. If I have to listen to Eric Almirola call another race, I might never watch another race again because that
I can
made
agree
me
with you on
sad.
that.
Yeah, it made me really sad. It was just bad. It was
And at least
basically
give
like
them
me on this
AC or
podcast.
something in the booth because no one wants to look at a shiny Eric Almirola. I mean,
No,
that
no
was
one wants
horrible.
to hear about Smithfield Bacon.
Oh
He
god.
always has to get his sponsors in there. Oh, maybe he'd like to wake up to a nice hot sizzling pound of Smithfield bacon.
And that's the
Here.
only reason he's had a fucking ride this long is because it's fucking
Yeah.
like you gotta suck their dick as like many times as they can, dude. So like I
Give
don't
me
even
that
know if I can
pork,
blame him.
baby. Yeah, they're definitely backing the wrong horse face.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Eric Almirola having a cup ride if Smithfield doesn't sponsor him.
I mean, they basically
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe basically doesn't have a sponsor, and
Yeah.
and Hart. I mean, yeah. So they're basically those other three cars are making sure that the 41 really doesn't have a sponsor either. So
Yeah.
Daddy, thanks, Daddy.
God.
God,
I
I
got
keep staring at that abomination behind Tyler. I mean, how do they fuck
Oh,
that
dude,
up so bad?
He's
Dude.
sneaking up on me, bro.
Let's look behind Tyler and let's look behind you for how badly
Yeah.
they can screw up.
How do we
I
feel
mean, they
about
gave
the
Brad, like,
Fox
5 different kits.
cartoons?
The,
Like I don't know
they
why
probably-
they've been
They
trying
probably
so
still
hard.
gave him abs as well.
Yeah, they needed to mow
They like
whoever
gave
did the cartoon
abs to every
things.
driver.
friggin' Alex Bowman has like a 7 head, bro.
I
That is not a 4 head.
Dude, I bet it's
Dude,
changed
look at
next
his
week.
eyebrows.
He straight up looks like one of the bad guys from the Ambiguously Gay duo, bro. It's real bad.
Who approved it? Who thought like, yeah, that can pass?
Yeah, that
Look,
looked
yeah,
like
Looks
Alex
exactly
Bowman.
like
Yeah.
Alex Bowman.
That-
I mean, that forehead would not pass inspection, man. That is a real bad ride height.
It's too
and that
high.
hairline. Yeah. I don't think Alex Bowman's going bald the last time I checked.
Yeah, and I don't think he has a 35 head with connected eyebrows.
I could fit like
Yeah.
7 fingers on that forehead.
I
Bro,
mean,
I think I can right now. Look at that. Dude, that's his whole forehead.
his eyebrows are connected to his nose, like halfway down.
Dude, his eyes are just shut. Just completely shut. Dude, my man got stung by a bee in his forehead.
And his eyebrows go down the sides of his nose too, bro. There's like
Yeah, for real.
Dude. They
those are
wrap
some real
around.
wingmen.
As we were talking about David Starr there being a dipshit move of the race, dipshit move of the
What
race
dipshit?
for the Cup race has to go for Eric Almirola.
That's a fact.
I mean, he
sir.
basically self-cleared himself against Blaney there.
Yeah, I would
Hey,
say
buddy,
that.
let me just bounce you off the wall here.
It was either that one or
It's like, I got-
fucking Ross
better than 140
Chastain
at least.
deciding to block for like 16th place and like just
Well,
drive
I
it
think Ross
straight to the apron.
Chastain mistake that 21 for the 12 after last week.
Oh, did he? Yeah, maybe.
I honestly think he did.
Dude, I mean, he shoved the 12 into a corner. Do you
Mhm.
guys see that? He shoved Blaney into a corner, and Blaney looked like he was in
Yeah.
Heat 5 lag mode.
I
Dude, he's the
remember
new
that
Ryan
we faced
Newman.
Each other really hard, and I forgot about last week with the 12. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's the new Ryan Newman, basically.
Oh, for sure. Like, he's a young Newman.
And he's
Except he doesn't have his pulse.
He's been so bad, and I enjoy that kind of. I mean, I like
Oh,
rooted
yeah.
for him for a second, but then,
Yeah, he
it's
just races like an asshole. And like, look how bad. Like, look how great like Kurt Busch has run this year, and then like look at Chastain. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, that should tell you something. So
Yeah, Kurt managed to finish in 8th place after having that loose wheel.
Right.
So
That
what
was
was it,
crazy.
in 3rd or 4th place.
So
I mean, to
speaking of
come
that,
back
though,
after that
good.
much, that just shows how good of a driver he is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it also
definitely.
just showed you like how much like the tires were worth that he could. I don't even know. I mean, he probably ended up
But
like
he had to
2 laps
pass
down.
all those different cars to get back up there, which is
Right.
insane.
Right.
That is very
Just to
true.
close out everything with Xfinity, though, who you guys have got for your driver of the race in the Xfinity race? I'll go to you, Logan.
Don't go to me. Go to Tyler first.
I'll go to
Don't
Tyler.
go to-
Logan's gonna think for a second.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
David
Tyler Reddick
Starr.
until I realized that like
He failed inspection.
yeah. I mean, I get it's like Tyler Reddick, but like at the same time, like, I mean, I guess Brett Moffitt ran pretty fucking good too.
Yeah,
I thought
Brett
about the same
Moffitt, he
thing,
was
but
good
he
all
raced
day.
kind of like a fucking bonehead too,
I
and that
mean,
kind
Yes,
of
he
like
did, yeah.
took some of the shine. And he finished like 7th instead of he's running in the top 3 for a long time.
He also had his
Honestly,
tire go down
I'm gonna
top
go with
20.
Josh
Yeah.
Berry. I mean, Myatt
It
Snyder is
was-
the obvious
Oh,
pick,
that's right.
but Josh Berry was real good. He was honestly he was the best finishing junior motorsports car. That's how their season's gone so far.
And he
Oh,
even
dude, yeah.
cut down a tire there at the final
Yeah,
run
Josh
and
Berry
managed to
was
come back
solid.
there.
Yeah, and
I'd
that
like
car
to
is,
see him have a full-time ride next season.
I believe that was the top finishing junior car last week too, with Miguel Paludo in it.
dude,
Yeah.
I was looking at this
It
right
was.
now. Justin Allgaier is 26th in points. Gregson is 27th. Timmy Hill is 24th.
Bruh.
Ouch.
Well,
And
Justin
Alex
Justin
LeBay is
Allgaier
25th.
self-cleared himself as
And
well.
Alex Bay
Oh.
should honestly be higher than that too. I mean, he
Mhm.
finished like 14th in points last year.
Hey, Logan, Tommy Joe Martin's 21st. He's ahead of Josh Berry.
I thought that was going to be your pick for driver of the day because he finished in the top 20.
No,
Yeah.
my driver of the race is Josh Berry as well. I mean,
Yeah.
for never being in an Xfinity car, not running practice
Well,
laps.
not in the last like 5 years or 4
yeah.
years.
At this track and everything.
Yeah.
To
Honestly,
be-
I wish he was racing a full season in that car
Oh,
as
yeah.
much as I want to see Sam Mayer.
Oh yeah, I want to see him
I-
get a
I
full
bet
ride
Jo-
next
if-
season.
If Josh Berry keeps up the results, I think he's gonna be a full time next year.
Well,
Oh,
Kurt Busch did say something about Filter Time wanting to sponsor more races. So I mean, they could always get Josh Berry in a, Ryan Sieg's second car or something. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's probably all that's really going to be open at this point. Well, back to the Cup race. I think this probably answers itself. But Rye, who's your driver of the day for the Cup race?
If you do the winner, you're off the podcast.
Yeah, well, I said that. I think I said that last podcast. I feel stupid like saying like the winner.
Be careful! I have the remove from call button right on my finger.
Oh, that's right. I think we
Nah.
all do right
Yeah.
now.
I knew you guys were gonna get all over me for this, so I'm not gonna go with William Byron.
Just go with who your heart tells you to go with. Don't listen to us, man.
Don't worry. If
Go
you
with
choose
your
the
heart.
leader one time, if you do the winner one time, it's okay. We respect it.
Yeah.
Not really.
Pretty
but-
sure we all did the winner at Daytona.
yeah, that's
Well,
true.
I mean that's different. That's Michael McDowell.
I mean, William Byron's just young Michael McDowell, so
I was gonna go with Kurt Busch just because like it felt like he was inside the top 5 like most of the day, for like the second week in a row. Last week he had all those setbacks, and then this week obviously he was running great. Had the tire go down, then drove all the way back there to 8th. I think I said actually when we asked like who's like your surprise guy that's not gonna make the playoffs, and I think I said Kurt Busch, but he's had a lot of freaking speed this year. So, I mean, at least so far. And now he's going back to his home track. I know he usually doesn't run good there, but he did win, the last race we were there. So, I don't know. We'll see. Vegas boy goes back home.
it's a good
He
pick.
won the last race.
The
The
West race.
The West Ways.
I
West
wasn't gonna
was-
say anything about it. I heard it, but like I was gonna let it go. Because
I
Ryan's
wasn't.
already feeling our pain enough. Like his ass is hurt. and
Actually,
it's not
I'm
our
changing
fault,
it. It's I'm gonna change it to William Byron actually.
but- Ooh. And that was the last we're gonna ever see of Ryan on the
Yep.
podcast.
Yeah, thank him for
Rest
his
in
service.
peace, brother.
Rest in pepperonis.
Rest in
Alrighty, let's get it
nothing.
back.
We're gonna just give this little guy a second to hook back up here.
I wonder if he's butthurt right now.
With that, I will
Oh,
say
there he is,
my
dude.
my pick for the driver of the race is
I'm
gonna.
gonna stay mute for the rest of this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we warned you. We warned
Act
you.
like a
fair and
good
square.
boy. Keep your mouth shut until we.
Don't
Unless I say
say-
Ryan.
Don't mention his name again.
He who shall but not be mentioned.
Just call him the iRacing Twink. My driver of the race is, for the second time this season, Mr. Michael McDowell. For obvious reasons. That guy is driving the wheels off that shitbox. And I mean, I was just impressed. I'm not often impressed with a Cup driver because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing most of the time. And this is probably like, I'm not gonna say Michael McDowell is gonna like make it past the first round of the playoffs or anything silly like that, but based just on these first three races, if in the same vein that Ryan said this similar statement about William Byron, if Michael McDowell if Michael McDowell can just run like this at intermediate tracks, though, I'm not saying he's going to make it to the championship 4, but he's going to have a real impressive year, and at least that'll probably give him a ride for the next couple of years when it probably looked like he wasn't going to have one after this season.
Yeah.
At least in my eyes, it was a waste of a seat. Now I'm just totally speechless on what he's done so far. What about you, Logan? Who's your driver of the race?
My driver didn't really get the finish that was expected earlier on, but my driver is going to be I forgot his name.
Uh-oh.
Who drives
his
17
name?
again?
The 17
Busher.
car.
Busher.
The most
I mean,
forgettable
it's easy
name.
to forget that name when he's not up front much.
I think you basically just did what every NASCAR fan did
Yeah,
during stage
Honestly,
1.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Ricky Stenhouse
is
go.
that?
Look at Ricky Stenhouse go. Oh, that's not Ricky Stenhouse? Oh, jeez.
I mean,
Weird.
he led a decent amount of laps there, so he's going to be my driver of the race. He did not get the finish. Yeah, did not get the finish he wanted, but
If only that crew could have kept that car anywhere near where it was instead of.
yeah.
I feel like they adjusted themselves straight out of the top 10.
Well, that's exactly what they did. I mean, it took him like less than a second from going to first to like 25th on that restart.
They definitely brought the daytime setup.
On the Ricky Stenhouse report, though, Ricky Stenhouse finished 13 and Chris Buescher finished 19. So,
Ricky Stenhouse, he was fast.
Two-time World War
right out of
champions,
the
baby.
gate. Yeah, he was faster out of the gate, and then that car, like after stage 1, it was kind of the same with Buescher, just was like
drove the wheels off it.
Your car, bro.
Well, I feel like Ricky Stenhouse should be one of those guys who's good at that track because of his dirt background and whatnot. Right. But I mean, neither of those JT Doherty cars had anything.
Yeah.
So him getting a 13th was actually probably about as good as it could be. Tyler Barnett, driver of the race.
I'm going Tyler Reddick.
Good choice. I thought you were gonna say the pace car.
No, I think Tyler Reddick definitely deserves it because I mean, in 18 laps, he pulled 8 seconds on William Byron. In 18 laps at a mile and a half, 30-second laps, 35-second laps, whatever. That's insane. That is a lot of time made up in that little of laps on old tires too.
Not to mention, I was listening to his radio and they thought he was gonna run out of gas. So that was scary.
Or forget it was the last lap.
But he was so pissed about finishing second because he knew he was that fast. Like he wasted 3 laps trying to get around third and second, and I definitely think if he got around them really quickly, he definitely could have been close to Byron.
Yeah, he didn't say anything on the radio until as soon as he crossed the finish line, and then it was a bunch of swear words, and then the crew being like, nah, bro, you did a great job. And he's like,
Yeah, you
I
were
could have won
wicked
this goddamn
fast.
race.
I respect that about him, honestly, too.
For a guy who looks like a librarian, man, he knows how to drive a race car.
And he's about as tall as I am.
Yeah, he can certainly tell you where the books are, and
I
he
mean,
can
that
also
was the
drive you to get them.
And not
That-
pick you up.
That was the thing though, like unfortunately, like for Reddick is just like the way, I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but like just like the way these cup cars are, like it was never really gonna like fall to exactly what like his strong suit was gonna be.
Truth
'Cause,
is,
like,
the
he
game
was-
was rigged from the start.
He was like right against the wall like the whole race. And like everybody said that like all the announcers like, yeah, Tyler Reddick's right up against the wall in 22nd place. Like, I mean, I don't know what about the night, just like going to night, like made that like thing come alive. But it honestly, like we said, like it took 35 fucking laps, and like that was really the only run that we had like 35 laps in a row. So it worked out for him being, being that way, being that long run at the end. But at the end of the day, like there's also a short run too, and like when you can only run that top good, you're gonna lose so much ground on all those guys that have fresh tires that can go right around the bottom.
That is correct. Ryan,
What's up?
who is your dipshit of the day in Cup?
Oh, I thought I was.
Yeah,
gonna
you
say-
already answered this.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ross Chastain.
And
I think I said that for his.
I needed to be reminded.
Yeah. Honestly, my dipshit of the race might just be Ross Chastain every week because I mean he does a lot of dipshit things. So
If you act like Ryan Newman, you get dipshitted, baby.
at least when Ryan Newman drives, like he like Ryan Newman races you hard, but he doesn't throw stupid blocks like that. That's the thing. Is like Chastain just does stupid shit like that all the time. That just pisses people off.
I mean, Ryan Newman probably did lose Matty D a race at Bristol, but
Yeah.
is what it is.
I mean,
Call it what you want to call it.
call that a stupid block.
I'd say my dipshit of the day is everybody who works for Penske and that doesn't drive the race cars because those cars were hot garbage all the way down to the Wood Brothers car.
dude, they're struggling this. I mean, other than
They're not
the last
struggling.
2
They
weeks.
struggled yesterday. I mean,
Well, even
Steve
like,
Benedetto was especially been struggling this year.
yeah, he's like last in points or pretty close to it.
we also did talk about it though last week. Like, I mean, the Penske cars, they ended up with good finishes, but you could like sort of tell like, and I mean that's kind of like always been the thing with the Penske cars is like they never, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is that they do with the car, their mindset is, they never have long run speed. They always just, those things just shoot out on restarts, and they try to get track position early and then hold them off, like hold people in dirty air and that sort of thing. And I mean, the way this package is, I mean, it's going to work at a lot of tracks. Like next week it'll work if they can do that, but they have just, I mean, yesterday's like especially, they just sucked like after, 15, 20 laps.
Yep, that is fact, and it's very
Yeah.
disappointing. But yeah, I mean, it has. I mean, they had 2 cars in the Final Four last year, so it's hard to, with running with the same amount of practice and all that. So
Right.
it's everything we talk about. We know is basically going to be overreacting to things because we're only 3 races deep, but we've got to make our mouths make sound. So we got to talk about something. There can't really think of a lot of other things in that race that were worth talking about. I mean, Brad's sexy chins.
What about William
big
Byron's
ass head.
burnout?
If
It
only
reminded
that
me a
car
lot of-
exploded and caught fire. And
It reminded me a lot of Joey Logano's burnouts.
It
I know,
honestly
yeah.
did. He didn't
So
have
it was an
quite as
A++
much
burnout.
momentum, though, as Logano usually does.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Logano
normally
would still be
Logano
spinning
can
around the track.
complete the second loop and keep going, but Byron didn't. So
I
I mean,
mean,
he still has some practice. But
yeah, he hasn't had a lot of
Get back to
experience getting a
iRacing,
chance
kid.
to do burnouts. Yeah, he's on iRacing right now, just doing
Practicing.
burnouts
Doing
at a random
burnouts
track.
in the game.
He's out at Las Vegas just doing burnouts. He's like, I gotta
He's
get
not even
ready.
practicing.
I'm a practice
Hendrick
this
walks in and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "Practicing."
Hey, where's
You
my
know-
ring?
I'm sad that Mike Joy didn't say on a computer.
I know.
Like he did not say it this time.
Dude, I really hope William Byron gets a win in front of Rick Allen just so he could say that.
Okay.
His career
think-
started on a computer.
We should also have a contest. How many more? Does anybody know how many more road courses we have with Fox?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We should have a drinking game for every time Mike Joy talks about
Mentions
Riverside.
Riverside.
Yeah, every time Mike Joy mentions Riverside, we have to drink 17 whole beers in a row.
Hey, at least I know now that Riverside opened up and closed season 2 before. That's pretty interesting. Thanks, Mike Joy.
How
helping us
crazy is
out.
this that the next
Me
road
told you
course is Coda. Coda's the next road course.
Oh wow.
How
Oh,
far
man.
away is that?
It's May 23rd, and then June 6th, they have Sonoma, and then they have the All-Star race.
If California lets them back in.
Yeah,
Dude, I know.
and then they're
If
done.
not, it's going to be
That
another
happening.
Daytona road course.
Right. So, 2 of them on Fox.
Well, let's load up because we're on to Vegas, baby. Gonna go straight to it and make the obvious pick as my winner for Vegas is gonna be Joseph Logano.
Hmm.
He
Monster.
is always good at that track, and he's my favorite driver. So Joey Logano's
Just
gonna
simp.
win Las Vegas. What you got to say about that, Mr. Wisco Simpy?
You know, I was thinking about it a little bit, and this is gonna be a boring pick. I think my pick last week was boring too, but I'm gonna go with Truex. I thought, honestly, I thought he was gonna win the race yesterday. It looked like, once they got on the long run, that car was just really good. I don't know what happened the last run or whatever. That thing just didn't take off that well. But I mean, Vegas is always a track that he's been super good at. He takes care of his equipment well, and honestly, like I just feel like he's only won once in like the last 40 something races. I think it's about time for him to finally get another one here.
No, fair enough. I mean, he has, even in that stretch, he's been consistently in the top 5.
Right.
Pretty much
He
the
was
whole
always
time.
there.
Vegas,
It was
dude.
just
He has a Vegas win. He's good there.
yeah. I think he has a couple actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always, even when he hasn't been getting these wins, like he's always been right there. He just can't close the fucking door. So we'll see.
Logan, what's your take on Las Vegas, baby?
He's sitting right behind Tyler there. That's my pick.
Oh,
The head.
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah, Mr. Forehead there. I
Mr.
think he did
12
he
baby.
did really well last year there, and led some laps, and I think he'll get it done this year.
That's a good pick. I like that
Yeah,
pick
that's a good
actually.
pick. And you know what's pretty funny though, because my pick is right behind Logan. Actually, I think Brad
Oh,
Keselowski's gonna get another one at Vegas.
Probably the
Dude.
wrong driver of the two.
I
Penske
think
cars
it's
that
gonna be
matter.
the
No.
single 2, not the double 2.
Everybody's picked a Penske car every week. It feels like.
It's a
Honestly,
safe.
yeah.
It's called a safe pick and a common sense pick.
But yet, look at Homestead.
I was about to say we just talked about how shitty they ran at a 1.5 track, like so.
Yo, but since we just made our picks though, let's get into the next thing. This is a good judgment on
YT
how
wants to
teams
talk
are
about
looking.
cautions again.
Yeah, baby. But nah, this 1.5 at Homestead is a good judgment on who's gonna be good and who's not gonna be very good. Like, let's sell out real quick. Bubba Wallace looking like trash.
Yeah. I mean, Suarez looks like
No
he's running
comment.
laps around.
has.
Yeah, Suarez.
Puke helmet. But yeah, Hendrick looks pretty solid. Obviously, William Byron got the win. Larson was second, or no, fourth.
I was gonna say, like, it feels like if I had to do like a speed rating, like of like all the teams, like it feels like Hendrick and Gibbs right now are at the top, and then after that, it's like, I mean, Penske shows speed at times. You got, I mean,
God,
honestly,
what a
you got
joke.
the 4 car. You have the 4 car, and then
He's his own team now.
Yeah.
honestly, like him and Rodney Childers should be their own team because the rest of that team is not gonna do shit.
Right.
Even like, I mean, RCR a little bit. Like,
It's that Bush sponsorship.
yeah.
Please Bush sponsor us.
You
there's
guys
not
were
much
riding
Bush.
on Bubba, but if the playoffs started today, he'd be the last car in the playoffs, baby.
No way.
Yep.
I mean,
Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse, and the rest of the drivers in the Cup Series.
I
That
think
I mean,
matter.
Bubba hasn't broke through the top 20 these past 3 races, right? For finish wise.
No, not finish wise. And
No, I believe the racist people we know pointed that out.
we'll shout him out at the end of the podcast. But no, like
That's just
Homestead is a
Pennsylvania
good
water
judgment
for you,
who's
baby.
going to be good and who's not going to be very good. Like Penske didn't look very good, but I picked them next week just because I know they're good at Vegas. Like they're always good at Vegas, and I think they're going to come back with a head of steam because it's fucking Penske. Like you can't really count them out ever.
I think
But
that's the
teams
thing,
like
though.
23-11 Racing, I think you can count them out after that because that was a horrible showing. He started 15th, ended what, like 23rd?
Like
Mhm.
I said in our chat, I'm going to judge him more on what Christopher Bell did in the 95 car. He'll easily match those numbers. I mean, he's basically just driving those cars. So, I mean, they
Yeah.
are Levine Family Racing. I think people are trying to, like, people are going crazy trying to say Bubba's going to win a race this year. That's not going to happen. Unless it's a super speedway, there's no
You
goddamn
got the same thing
way.
with William
Or maybe,
Byron, though.
yeah,
Dude, we just jinx
well,
everything.
that
Yeah.
was logical. That was I was
Uh.
speaking logically, and William Byron got a little twink ass win, and it's going to be his only win of the season.
Cody Petty
Oh,
never gonna
are
get
we
the
ready to
win.
double down on William Byron's not going to win
Take
another
it
race
from
this year?
me, brother. Guys are sometimes just good at one track, and usually it's Homestead.
It's
I
you.
know. You can just pencil my name in at Homestead too, baby. Me and
Yeah.
Little Bees.
He's like, I
Um,
understand this, bro.
This is a sad fact. Joey Gase, who's raced in one race, is ahead of Matty D in points.
Oh, that's bad.
That is painful.
That's a pretty big yikes right there.
Mhm.
Matty
Pain.
Quinn Hook is the bottom of the points. That's yeah.
That's-
Rest in peace, Matty D's racing career. It was nice. These last 2 years were nice, but we'll see you at Spire Motorsports with Corey LaJoy next year.
And going back to the Xfinity picks for Las Vegas, who do you have, Jay?
I chose your mother.
Whoa, bro, she
Mm.
DNF'd in my life, bro.
Got him.
Yeah, but she's entered in the 13 car because they now consider David Starr not able to drive.
Paraplegic.
No, Braxton wins in his hometown, baby. Let's
Oh,
get it.
what a call. Wow.
He ain't gonna drink, but he's gonna drive, baby.
Oh.
Shout out.
I
No,
love
No
Noah
way.
Braxton, and he ain't listening to this podcast, so I ain't too worried.
Dude, he might be one of our
Who's
only
your
fans
hot
now.
pick for the Xfinity race in Las Vegas?
I am gonna go with another extremely boring pick, but
Gonna
Austin
be your
Cindric.
MO.
Bro, shut the fuck up.
I like it.
Austin Cindric. I think honestly, like it felt like last year, like a lot of the mile-and-a-half tracks, that car was just better than everybody else, except Chase Briscoe. That was really his only competition. So I'm not gonna get too, too excited about it or anything, but I'm hoping. I don't think I've picked any race right yet. I don't even know if any of us have picked one right yet.
I don't know. We
So-
haven't really gone
No.
over
We got
those
Daytona
picks.
Xfinity because we picked Cindric. I know a few of us did.
To
Cindric-
win
I
the
think
oval
so.
race?
I think so.
Did we? I think Jay might have taken. it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I picked him too. We'll have to go back.
Yeah,
and
he
check
might
that.
have piggybacked off my good pick.
Mhm.
Well, obviously Penske's, they've always been good at that track, so I'm not gonna overthink it too much. I'm just gonna take Cindric here.
Our Motorsports is going to have 3 cars in this Xfinity race, according to this. That they're going to have Andy Lally and Tyler Reddick for some reason is
Oh,
racing
shit.
again. Probably because
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick made tires last for 100,000 laps the last time he raced there in
Yeah,
an
extra
Xfinity car.
That's
Mr. Logang.
My pick Ryan Sieg.
Right?
Yeah. I think he's gonna get it done.
That's a good one.
Wow.
I wish I had a
pick's
little
gonna be
alert
hot.
so I could say hot take alert, hot take alert, hot take alert.
All right, well,
because-
you're gonna like this one.
I mean, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen soon.
I mean,
So
he did
some
run
would say.
really well. I remember the first Xfinity race they had there last year. I know he ran really well there, but
He ran solid
that
a lot,
is,
especially on that comeback.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he's got a new
T.O.
manufacturer, and things don't seem to go well with the lower tier guys switching manufacturers like on single car teams. Stuart Friesen last year. So I'm still hesitant with. I like the pick because I like Ryan Sieg. YT, what's your controversial pick? The pace car.
And for the hottest take of the year, sick
Hot
of these
take.
boring ass picks, we got the winless Daniel Hemrick is gonna win it. So I chose him.
That's a good
Wow.
joke.
I chose him mainly because if he doesn't win, it's like whatever. Like I kind of knew he wasn't gonna win, but if he does, I'm gonna look like a fucking genius, bro.
So
Okay.
you're just gonna pick Daniel Hemrick every week now, basically.
Oh yeah, baby.
You want
No,
eventually,
next
right?
week is-
Like he's
next
got to
week is Ty
finally win a NASCAR race at some point, you know? Like
I mean, you gotta give him credit. He didn't wreck the car in the first couple laps.
it's true.
Hey, you gotta give him credit too. He's been in the Final Four twice. That's 2 more times than Ryan Sieg,
He's never won a NASCAR race.
but he's been in the Final Four.
Hey, either is Joey Gase.
YT took Ryan. God damn it. Ryan Sieg actually probably has more of a chance to win than.
Oh yeah, he does. He
Daniel
definitely
Hemrick.
does. I'm gonna keep
Daniel
it real with
Hemrick.
y'all.
Hey, there we go.
That's the hot take air horn.
The hottest take of the year. Like I said though, if he wins, I'm gonna look like Albert Einstein.
I'm cool with a 30-year-old guy never winning an Xfinity race. That'd be fine with me. Because I think that's the only thing. Honestly, going into this podcast, the thing on my mind was thinking about how Daniel Hemrick should stop racing, and I don't understand why people give a shit about Daniel Hemrick. People seem to like him a lot, and maybe he's a super nice guy. Maybe he gives out hand jobs to people
Hey,
randomly.
there
It
you
could
go.
be.
Whoa, why did I
That would
pick him?
actually make more sense than thinking Daniel Hemrick's a good race car driver. I think the last thing he won was probably the All-American 400, and that was like 12 years ago.
I think his wife beats him more.
Oh, dude, if those two are on a go-kart track, she's finishing first.
Oh, you already know, and he's finishing.
That's a
like
hard
13th.
fact. I mean, it's more sad seeing him out there than it is David Starr, because at least David Starr has totally given up. Like he knows where he belongs on the track until
He
this
better
day.
give up now.
Yeah. But all you can hope with Daniel Hemrick is that he doesn't wreck the car at this point. There's no upside to Daniel Hemrick, guys.
But like, is Daniel Hemrick? I mean, for like 1 year, I guess. Like, would you rather have Daniel Hemrick or Riley Herbst in that car?
Honestly, Riley Herbst.
Really?
Because
Oh.
he's way younger, so he's at least got the possibility of upside. What's the upside for Daniel Hemrick? Driving for
Another Final
Fair for
Four
5
appearance
years?
with no win.
If it was me, I'd just shut my program down and save money.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Ty Gibbs, actually.
I
Let's put him.
put Tyler Mola in there.
Oh, Ty Gibbs any day of the week, dude. I'd take
Oh
Ty Gibbs
yeah.
on that ride all day long.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have it full time next year. So.
Justin Allgaier too. Justin Allgaier should retire. He's got negative upside. I feel like if you can have negative upside,
I mean,
Michael Annett should retire.
Michael Annett should definitely retire.
Mhm.
Allgaier at least has been like interesting like the last few years here.
So washed up. Like he was like Elliott Sadler for a while, where he could run for a
Dude, that
championship
is.
or get like 3-4 wins, but he just
If
didn't have-
Elliott Sadler hears that, I hope he comes to your house and punches you right in your teeth, because Elliott Sadler was an actual race car driver for a period of time,
That is true.
and
That
then
is
he hit a wall at Pocono.
No, honestly, I loved Elliott Sadler. Like he's dope. Like
Him
he-
and his brother
yeah.
Herm own a
Hermie.
truck stop,
Terminator.
baby.
Oh,
They own a
that's
truck stop and with a restaurant in it.
But bro, no,
That'd be
honestly,
good.
I do like Elliott Sadler a lot. I feel so bad that he couldn't get it done. For
If
the-
we ever get fans, we
yeah.
should start a letter writing campaign to Who's Michael Annette's big sponsor again?
Jay.
Pilot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, we're going to start writing him and asking him why he sponsors a shitty 500-year-old Xfinity driver in top equipment. I mean, like, God, I feel like Michael
Dude,
Annette can
Josh
win.
Berry could go to that ride, and then
Right.
Sam
Yeah.
could have the 8.
Josh Berry
That'd
is
be
on the
sick.
entry list this week, so we'll see some more Josh Berry.
I hope he does really well.
I hope he's on the entry list for tracks like Richmond and in
Drive
Bristol.
tracks.
Yeah,
Sure he
like
is.
that would make the most sense. Even like a New Hampshire.
Didn't Junior say he was gonna do like Martinsville?
I know he's doing something. I don't know. I can't say.
Yeah, I
what
can't remember what it was gonna be.
he's
but
doing. His one race, his obligatory one race for.
I kind of
for
like it though.
mayonnaise.
That
Just
is
to
kind
get
of cool.
sponsored by some mayo.
Yeah, he's
Some
got that
Mayo.
Mayo money. He's got to repair that plane, bro.
Dude, he's got a second kid coming too. He's got to pay the bills somehow.
Hey, that's true.
All right,
All
and now that
Let's
we're
get
done with the
pack
Xfinity
two
stuff,
picks.
Hey.
let's pack picks to the Truck Series.
Pack them in, baby.
I'm gonna go first this time because I went last. I think Sheldon Creed finally gets it done, and he's gonna move Penrose out of the way on lap 7.
I love that. Honestly.
How about you, Ryan?
Okay, so I'm just gonna like say this up front. If we ever
God.
do a truck race and Kyle Busch is in the field and somebody takes him, just don't make another pick, honestly. So.
Yeah, you're done.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to pick Cup drivers. You're not allowed to pick Cup drivers in Xfinity or Trucks.
Well, okay, you could
Make
have.
that a rule.
I would have given
Well,
you
looks
like
like I
Tyler
have to
Reddick.
pick a new
Tyler
person.
Reddick.
Yeah,
and
like
then
Tyler
our
Reddick's
Motorsport.
okay, but like someone
Let's
like
just say this though, like we all realize that we're not idiots. We realize that Kyle Busch is probably going to win this race.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we hate it. I'm pretty sure we all hate it. There's no reason he should be driving in the Cup Series. He's ridiculous.
The Cup
He
Series
looks
or
like
the
Cup
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
Any
man has no
series.
talent.
He
I
has
thought
no
I said the
business
Truck
no
Series.
in the
talent.
Cup Series. I mean,
I said the Truck Series.
Nah.
Now we all-
play that
we all
back,
heard
Logan.
that.
We play it back.
There's no reason he should be driving in the Cup Series.
Hey, play
Yeah,
it
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Thankfully,
I'll
we
let
don't have the ability to play that back, so we're
Put
gonna
it
go with
on
Truck
highlight.
Series. And if you
I
guys
think
don't know
Zane
the
Smith
difference
will get it.
between
I think
a
that's my pick this week. Zane Smith.
you can drive a cup, you can drink out of a truck, you can I just screwed up again. So you can drive a cup apparently. So let's do it. You said Zane
has
Smith,
skills.
sir?
Yep. Yep,
Zane
that's my
Smith?
pick.
Yeah,
I like that.
hella
Not gonna be
fast.
Connor Daly. No,
What?
Connor Daly's entered in this race.
Nah, he ain't doing shit.
Dude, Jesse Awuchi's entered in this race.
Oh, wait a minute.
What, dude? That pit road wall is already cringing.
Mandatory caution.
Do you
alert.
remember that? I
Mandatory
watch it once a day. Dude, I've never seen someone smoke the wall so hard on a track by themselves.
Dude. Like, what?
I think they were like, okay, you're gonna go out there and do qualifying. No matter what happens,
Keep your
don't
foot in it.
lift. Keep your foot
Keep
in
your
it.
foot in it.
And he's like, inside wall coming. Keep my foot in it. Pow.
It's like that
Yeah.
episode from SpongeBob. Floor it. Floor it.
Floor it.
And he's in that same 33 truck too. So rest in peace, 33 truck. It was nice. It was nice while we
Nice
knew you
being
had you
alive
in
for
one
30
piece.
seconds.
DJ
watch
McLeod
out
is in a
for-
truck this weekend.
Especially through the dog leg.
Yeah, mandatory caution alert.
Thankfully, there's no practice or qualifying, so
Yeah.
he'll at least make
Inside
it.
wall is
he'll-
safe for at least
Jesse
a week.
Awuji will make the race
Mhm.
in one piece, we think.
I hope.
Anyways, so okay, Jay, yeah, who is your actual pick?
My actual pick for the race is not going to be Brett Holmes. That's for sure. I
Okay.
don't know, man. It's real
Brett
tough.
Holmes?
He's entered in the truck race apparently. It's hard. It's like I wanted to go with someone cool and different, but
He's gonna pick Ben Rhodes.
no. That'd be my last day. If I ever pick,
I thought about it. Honestly.
if I ever pick Ben Rhodes, just know that that's me saying to you guys that I'm gonna kill myself directly after this podcast. So if you guys want to, you can try to keep me talking or something while you call the police. Um,
Jesus.
It's because you'll know I dove off of some sort of weird deep end, and there's nothing left to live for. Christian Eckes, baby, let's go.
Ooh, I like
All
it.
right.
Part-time driver and what looks like good equipment this year. Considering
Well,
that
maybe it's just Ben Rhodes is that good.
the driver not to be named but looks like a cat's butthole has won 2 races. Let's hope it's not 3.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one because I honestly feel like a lot of the last few like truck races at Vegas, they've all been very good. It feels like there's been a lot of like close racing. The draft is a big factor. There's been a lot of good finishes, but I think I'm gonna go with Austin Hill. I know he won the truck race last year at Vegas. The Pillsbury Doughboy, the big fat boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Austin Hill, baby.
I mean,
Austin
Austin Hill's very forgettable. I mean,
Oh yeah, and that's a thing that 16 car like the last 3 years ever since fucking Brett Moffitt won a championship in it. I don't know why that car is that fucking good, but like
it's
they
actually
get
a truck. Get it right.
Yeah.
okay.
But,
That
yeah, that airplane's really fucking solid.
Hey, at least I'm not the only one who says retarded things.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive my cup to work.
Hey, Jay, you can't say that. You're gonna get canceled.
I just did. They showed they at my door, baby.
You also joked about suicide, so
Oh yeah, we're done. So, hey Ryan, bust
What if
it
I say-
out, Ryan, bust it out.
What if I say suicide is retarded?
oh
Cancels
yeah,
out.
you done so. Yeah,
No,
this
it cancels
podcast
out.
is pretty much over.
I like
We're
Bubba
done.
Wallace, though he's my favorite driver.
Everybody,
Yeah.
Ryan is a homo gay. Everyone, Ryan is a homo gay. Please do not cancel us. I swear to God, I will cry and then I will be offended.
Dude, honestly, they should get canceled for canceling us. They're gonna do that. So
Dude, it's just cancel.
Yeah, we're
that's
cancel
that's
cancel
next
free.
level.
Will Jesse Iwuji not get a DNF?
No, he's DNFing for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
done
I
though.
agree with
Yeah.
you.
Whether it's a starting park or whether he just slams the inside wall, flips over, and crushes a crew member, it's one of the
Does
other.
does it have enough horsepower to even get on its roof?
Is
Ooh.
he not going to like get out of the car like halfway through and like interview like Ben Rhodes like
Interview
chief?
himself.
Yeah. He's just gonna be standing in front of a
Gonna pit
mirror. We're gonna cut
report.
to Jesse Iwuji interviewing Jesse Iwuji.
How's the truck out there? Awful.
It's a little tight, you know. Like I'm trying to keep it wide
likes that
open with
inside
these
wall
boys.
a lot though.
It's a
It sounds
little-
like 2 cats squealing when I go into one.
David
Me and
Gilliland
Jennifer
is-
Joe Cobb were having a great race back there. Honestly, I had a nice little move. I got a little side draft on her left rear corner, and I pulled through the inside going into 3.
And I slammed to the outside wall after that after not lifting.
Did you guys notice that Grant Enfinger is on the entry list for the truck race
Yeah.
in the number
Yeah.
9 truck?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Dude,
that earlier.
Hey, that's a good pick though. He won there last year, didn't he? One of the races? Or he won the year
I
before?
think he won the spring race there actually.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is he's not going to be in ThorSport equipment exactly.
That's true.
I
That-
like him so much more now that he's not racing a ThorSport
Yeah.
car.
I
so.
agree.
But at
Also-
the same time, that 9 has been up at the front at certain times.
It's looked nice. It's had
Okay,
nice
so
paint
it-
schemes.
Yeah.
David Gilliland's going to be in there too. In probably in better equipment than the 9, that's for sure. Grant Enfinger though, I mean, he is more likable now a little bit, but
Yeah.
he is another one of those guys who's in that extreme suck vacuum of there's no
Truck
upside
series.
left to them. I mean, what, he won an ARCA championship when he was like 32 years old. Like, congrats, bud. You beat out a bunch of teenagers. You've been at ThorSport, the least likable truck team, for your whole fucking career after that, and you've never won a championship, and your teammate has won a championship without winning a race. So, I mean, granted, he had to
When-
deal with
Mhm.
Johnny Sauter, which got to be tough. But
Can we
Yeah.
ask like this question? Like, when was the year where like ThorSport became like a hateable team in the truck series?
Ooh,
I
that's
don't
a good one.
Like,
Like, when did
they
that
brought
happen?
Back Johnny Sauter. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
was.
so. When they brought back Johnny Sauter.
What
because
even
he's
year
very
was that?
unlikable. Johnny Sauter, or no, it was
Like-
Johnny Sauter's brother that tried to kill Mike Harmon after he survived the Bristol wreck. Definitely a Sauter. It might have been Johnny. I can't remember.
It was a Sauter.
It
No,
was
I-
either Jay or Johnny.
It's been like 2 or 3 years since he's been in the 13 truck. Like he used to race the 98, right? And then he left for a little bit and then came back to the 13. I think it's been like 2 or 3 years.
Oh
It's
yeah.
been it's been like 3 or 4. It's been
Mhm.
because he was in the.
It's been way too long.
GMS.
Yeah, that's right. He was at. Yeah, he was he
He's in
driving the
21
23
for a little
Yeah,
bit.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he was
He-
good. Didn't he won a couple championships in that car?
I think so.
Truck.
You know what? I'm
Great.
gonna
Boat.
just retire from the truck series now because I just
I
want it
think
to
me
be
and you
car
both
so
have to retire from talking about the Truck Cup Series.
bad. Hey,
Those
we'll just
trucks.
we'll start our own Xfinity podcast. Xfinity only.
You
Well, if
don't
Ben
have
Rhodes-
to be lonely at
if-
XfinityOnly.com.
if Ben Rhodes wins another race, we might never talk about the Truck Series again. So that
Honestly.
might fix it.
Alrighty, one last thing about the truck series. How long will it take until Haley Deegan smashes her truck on the backstretch inside wall?
Stage 2, 3 laps in.
No, I'm gonna say older tires, like halfway through stage before final pit stops in stage 3.
I'm gonna
Change
say
lap 13 of stage 2.
Johnny Sauter gets a speeding penalty and then has to start at the back at with 40 to go in stage 3,
And just
and
wrecks
then just
on
is like,
Dale Earnhardt, sir.
hey, I can't lift for you, bitch. Like I can't be lifting for this girl. I had to go. I got a fast car.
NASCAR.
I like how you're doing like a Johnny Sauter accent, but he's actually from the place that you live. He's from Wisconsin. So he just says, "Oh,
Yeah,
I
a
like
lot.
cheese. I like cheese."
I think you're missing some words in there, like some explicit. Yeah.
Oh, a lot of them, and
You
You
guys
know,
sound
lots
like
of
he
others.
ain't lifting for
Yeah.
he ain't lifting for Genjo Cobb. He ain't lifting for
Hey,
Haley
hell
Deegan.
no.
He definitely ain't lifting for Jesse Awuji. That's all I'm gonna say. He might end
I think it's
Awuji.
gonna be in the
let's
middle
just
of
say
stage.
that he
middle
did
of
not
stage
support
3.
the voting rights.
So me and Logan are pretty close on our
Yep,
picks
middle
for
of
when Haley
stage
Deegan.
3.
I mean,
That's her home track too. I think technically.
Yeah.
Johnny Sauter probably has he was probably pissed when the Confederate ban, the flag ban came out for NASCAR, but he's probably got it. Like the inside of his motorhome is probably just decorated with them.
Dude, the
We
inside
know
of his car,
someone-
That's why he never has a visor cam, because it's a better flag right there.
I
Yeah.
think this is the proper time to give a shout out to good old Barry Jack, Billy Jack Burgess. We
Dipshit
had a.
NASCAR comment of the week. We're gonna
I'm
be
gonna-
starting that.
I'm gonna loosely use the word fan because we don't have any that aren't related to us. But we had
No
a
Gregson?
hot comment on one of our videos on the Backmarkers podcast on all social media platforms that I'm thinking Tyler might be getting ready to read right now.
Oh yes, sir. I have it up and ready. Our boy Billy Jack Burgess Jr. in all
Hey.
capitals too, by the way. Piss on NASCAR. Bye bye. Their flag banned and their BLM bullshit! Exclamation point times 6. Thank you for supporting our posts.
And to be
Wow.
clear, he said Baba, BABBA, instead of
I read it
Bubba.
verbatim as we saw it.
yeah, and he was talking about the flag band, BAND,
Yep.
which I
So,
think
ladies and gentlemen,
just
this is our
plays the
last
national anthem.
podcast. Next week, we will be becoming a band. Baba and the Flag.
Yeah.
it's
So
Baba,
thank
We-
you all.
Billy Jack, Baba and the Flag Band, baby.
Oh yeah. That has a nice ring to it.
It really does.
Yeah.
We might be back the next time NASCAR goes to Daytona or something, or maybe the next time NASCAR goes to Chicagoland. So we'll see.
I say that our first trip as a podcast to do a remote interview is to old Billy Jack's house. We'll see if Billy Jack will have us out.
So, what do you think of the death of Dale Earnhardt?
Billy Jack. Oh, that's when NASCAR went downhill. Dale Earnhardt hit that wall and his little angel body flew out that car, and NASCAR went right with him.
Yeah, you see all the doves that flew over his car? Yeah, it took his soul. It took NASCAR's soul with it.
Just like my relationship with my son when he told me he was a
And
homosexual.
my ex-wife.
Me and NASCAR don't talk either, and I haven't talked to NASCAR since 2001 at Daytona.
The worst strategy in 2001.
All my friends call me Dale Jr. Fuck. Hey, you can't hit them all in the first take.
Yeah.
All right, so once again, thank you to Billy Jack Burgess Jr. You are a real one, a big supporter of the podcast apparently, and not a very big supporter of the flag band. So thank you very much. And
We don't support all your views, but we support you giving us views. So
We appreciate your very racist comment. Thank you.
yeah. So make sure you follow us on all platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Backmarkers
At the
podcast.
Backmarkers
Yo,
podcast.
when are we starting the OnlyFans though?
Ooh,
Oh,
a good
that's
question.
right.
I don't think me and you were on that, Rye. I'm sorry, bud.
Are we maybe 100 subscribers?
Ooh.
I'm not starting an OnlyFans because if it gets more subscribers than our YouTube, it's not gonna feel good.
Hey, we'll talk about racing. Will be the podcast will be on in the background. We'll talk about race in the back.
Yo, Logan and I can get out of some sweaty driver suits.
I'll do a sexy picture of me wrapped in a Confederate flag for old Billy Jack. Yeah.
Make him pay for that shit.
Yeah. Well, you know, if we're on OnlyFans, we ain't having a free OnlyFans, baby.
We ain't no simps here.
You know. So, thank you for listening to episode 4 of the Backmarkers podcast. Like Tyler said, follow us on all social media, and please tell your grandparents to listen. Peace out.